Hey everyone, Melanie Menschinger here, illustrator for Gina K Designs. Today I've got a new card project for you with my newest set from Gina K Designs, Fearless Flyers. And this is one that I showed during our release party. I'm also using a few elements on this card from my previous Beautiful Birds set. As of today, Beautiful Birds just sold out since it coordinates so well with Fearless Flyers, but I know so many of you have this previous set. I really love using these together, so I'm going to show you this card, and if this is something you're interested in, but it's not in stock when you go to our website, then please just get on the wait list. It will send you a notification, but it is not a commitment to purchase. I'll also show you some ideas for how you could do this card using the technique that I'm going to be showing for creating the light and shadows, but not using the nest. I'm also kind of behind on videos for Beautiful Birds, so I just wanted to show this today. But in addition to those two sets, very minimal supplies that you're going to be using today. I just want to show you how you can use just a little bit of color to create dimension and light and shadows on this design. So the cardstock that I'm going to be using today, I love this. Is my favorite gray. It's the Soft Stone. This is our Pure Luxury. It's 4¼ inches by 11 inches. And we are going to score this at 5½ inches with our scoring board, so that we have an A2 size top fold card. I'm also going to show you coloring this on the white. So we're using the same marker to do the shadows on the both, but if you don't have any of this paper, I'm going to do the same version on the white. For the ink pad that I'm going to be using today, I've got some of the Gina K Designs amalgam ink. This is great for using alcohol markers with, and this is the Chocolate Truffle. And then I've just got one marker that I'm using today. This is a Spectrum Noir BG4, so kind of a warm gray that we're going to be adding those shadows with. It's going to give it a lot of dimension. And then I have got a white pigment ink pad here, and I'm going to show you how you can paint with a water brush. Just add a little bit to this gray, and it's just going to look so pretty. And then I've got a gel pen. I've also got the MISTI here for stamping my images, so we can stamp all of these at one time and then do both versions on the white cardstock without moving our stamps. And then I've got just a small block for adding the little branch. I just like having small blocks so that I can move them around easily rather than using the MISTI when I'm using the smaller elements. So let's begin by getting our stamp images onto the stamping platform. So I'm going to be taking this one bird here at the top, and I want to make it look like it is coming in to add a little branch to this nest. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to lay the card base in here. You can have it hanging out. So I'm just going to have that right in the corner. And the nest, because it's bigger than the bird, is going to look like it's up in the foreground. And that bird that I picked out is going to be just swooping in there. So that's the theme of this Fearless Flyers set, having all of them in flight. And I am grabbing the Bless This Nest greeting. So this is going to be for a friend of mine who just had her 4th daughter. Okay, so we're just going to lay that out. So this is kind of making your eye come down the card this way. Okay. And close the door. So we're going to ink this up with the Chocolate Truffle. Just a really pretty, rich brown. You could do this in a black, but I love the brown for the nest. Sometimes I do it in black and then fill in with some brown. This way though, you just have to add a little shadow and it already looks like branches. I also love it in the slate or the Stormy Sky gray. Just really nice neutrals that really look like twigs. Alright, so, and I found a good Chucky type tool. This is this little whale stapler, and it's got some felt on it, so it slides around really nicely and it helps you just get a nice even pressure all over. Okay, so we'll open that up. There we go. And you can stamp it again if you want it to be darker, but I think it looks good just like that. And I'm going to lay in my white paper. So if you've got your greeting and your images already lined up here, this is a great way to mass produce several cards. This, still not used to using it, remembering that I have something that works well on here. Alright, so that's all the stamping that we are going to do with the platform. So I'm going to put this aside. I might actually put an image inside. I meant to talk about that, so I'll show that in a second. Oh, I got a little bit of a smudge here. Might have transferred some of the ink. I love this sand eraser. I don't know if we have any in stock right now, but this is great for lifting off just little boo-boos if you see that you've gotten a little smudge on your cardstock. Okay, so here is our card. And also, I was really excited to find out when I did my coloring on here, this is such a thick cardstock, it will not go through when you are using your alcohol markers. So it will on a piece of layering weight white, and I'll show you that in a second. But this is really thick, and so I'm finding that you can actually color with alcohol markers on it. So I've got my gray here. So what I want to do is I want to add some shadowing around the edge of each of these eggs where they overlap, and then on the underside. So we're thinking about the light coming from the top, and then we're going around the edge so that we leave kind of a rounded spotlight where it's hitting each of these eggs at the top. We'll do this on the gray one as well. And you can pick out a darker shade if you wanted, but I want just something kind of in between, and I can layer it and get it exactly how I like it. So see, that's not coming through here, just barely on this one. It is a lighter color, like I said. Now let's go ahead and I'm gonna switch to the chisel point just so that I can add this color a little bit faster. And you can kind of hear it scratching, so it's starting to run a little bit low on ink. This is one of my favorites for shadows, so I use it a lot. I don't have re-inkers for this markers. So then we're going to go just to the bottom here. Hang on. That side's running out a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to go under. So I'm doing just under and then just out to the side as if the light is coming down. So it's bringing this down and this down here. And then I'm also going to go just on the underside of the bird there. Okay. So the side that's farthest from us and underneath if the light is coming down. And then I also want to put some just under the wing where it's closest to the body. I'm going to do just a little bit here, but I'm not pulling that color out as much because when you look at a bird's wing or you think about feathers, they're not really solid. The light comes through, and so that is creating that illusion that they're transparent and the light is showing through. So I'm going to do that now over on this side, just adding just a little bit. And you can see I put a little bit on the tail and then a little bit on the underside there. Okay. You can also go in, and so I'm putting just a little bit in here in the nest just to make it look a little bit more solid where those branches are overlapping, and then just a little bit here. Okay. And then the last thing that I want to do, so this one is basically done, and that is how I did that first card. I'm going to go ahead and stamp. I will add that little tiny branch with my chocolate pad on both of these real quick. So I have different things in this set that you can have the birds hold. So we've got the branch, we've got the little twig with the leaves, we have this two-step for larger leaves for creating tree scenes, we've got the balloons and the ribbons, but I'm just going to use this tiny little twig here, and I'm going to put it on this small block and just pop it right there next to, and so you can kind of turn it however you want, but I'm just lining it up with the edge of that beak. And I think I'm also going to put this on the back, kind of for like a little logo or where I sign it. Okay. And you can also do a bird on the inside if you want. I think I'm going to do one of these silhouettes just to show you. I'm going to have to use my MISTI again. But I'm going to put a bird right inside so I can kind of bring this design into my card. Okay, so I love these silhouettes. So now you bring the outside of the card inside. So one thing I want to show you though, to make this look even more dimensional, and I just got ink from there. Let me grab this again. So see how this just takes it right off. That sand eraser is just taking off that top layer of cardstock. So handy to have. I will add a link if that is available right now in the store. Okay, so this one already, this would just be ready to layer right onto your card. But I want to show you, I was thinking about the whitewash technique video that I have in one of my playlists for my stately flowers, where I color on craft cardstock with one of our white inks, and it just looks so beautiful. It just really brings that white out. So you don't always have to stamp on your white cardstocks. You can use your colored ones as well. So what I'm doing here is I'm just lifting a little bit of that ink off of it onto the lid. So you're saving all this. So now you have a little palette. And if you want to just use a regular brush and a cup of water, you can. I just like water brushes because it's so easy to pick up the color and paint from your pads. So I'm just going in and I am just going to layer some of this white. I'm going to add just a touch of it on the eggs, and it's going to create a little highlight there. And so it's very subtle, but you can see the difference between the white on the bird and the gray cardstock. And you can put it here on the wings, but you don't really need it. I'm just really trying to pick up just the brightest parts. And if you need to get a little bit more. So the pigment inks, the pigment inks is more like paint in a pad rather than ink. So these are going to show up on darker colored cardstocks. And I just think it's just so pretty and subtle on this soft stone. And where is my lid? Okay. And then last, I'm going to take just my pen here and just make it a little bit more vivid there, just at the tips and along the top of that wing. And then right there at the head. I hope you can see this well in the video, and then if you can add just a little touch of that if you want to make the white that much brighter. But see how easy that card is? Now if you don't have the nest and you want to create a card like this with just the Fearless Flyers set, you could come in and create a layout where you have the other bird right here and then do To a Beautiful Couple. I have so many different greeting options in here. I posted those on our Facebook group. But prayers, sympathy, weddings, anniversaries, just so many ways that you can do that. So that's all I'm going to show for today. Very simple card. I hope that you will let me know in the comments which version you like better. But I hope you'll try this, just this very subtle shading. You can make a single layer card with just a little bit of stamping and very minimal coloring by just adding a little bit of shadow and a little bit of light. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you will check out both the Fearless Flyer and the Beautiful Birds sets. Thank you for watching. God bless.